Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Since Christopher Nolan's brand new movie, Oppenheimer, just comes out just next week, I'm going to be going through the rest of his filmography, starting off with his first ever movie, Following. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, where I review the director's movies and that before with their brand new movie coming out. So I decided to start off with one of my favorite directors of all time, Christopher Nolan, and I thought it would be perfect timing since my most anticipated movie for the rest of the year, Oppenheimer, just comes out just next week, which I'm very excited for. And I just decided that this would be a fun idea because I've only seen a few Christopher Nolan movies. I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy. I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy, obviously. I've seen Inception. I've seen The Prestige, but I've seen a little bit of footage of Insomnia. But other than that, I haven't seen all of his other movies. So a lot of these movies you're gonna be hearing me saying these are first time watches for me. But with that all out of the way, here are my thoughts on Following. Of the positives on Following, which is a lot of people's negatives or mixed aspects from what I've seen in other reviews, is that's the black and white thing in this movie. To me, it fits the tone of the movie. Sure, a lot of people feel that it doesn't need to be there. It's probably only there because of the low budget and because this was Christopher Nolan's first movie, which I understand if you think that, but at the same time, I feel it kind of fits the tone of where this movie is really going, where you get this guy who's following people around to write novels about them, about their lives, and then he gets crossed over with this guy that has the same feeling, but he breaks into houses, but he doesn't actually steal anything. I think the black and white tone really fits that, and it kind of just like fits the tone of this movie and what this movie is really going for. That's just my personal opinion, and I also just really enjoy black and white movies, especially the classic monster movies and all that. Which, yes, I still need to do all the other Dracula movies. I've seen you people talking about it. Like, please stop. I'm gonna get there one day, I promise you. But I feel the black and white tone fits. I don't mind it very much. It doesn't really bother me much, but for other people, it might bother them, which is totally fine. But for me personally, it don't bother me. Like I said, this is a very neat idea about something where we've all heard of robberies and burglaries and all that, breaking into houses and stealing people's stuff. But this movie does the opposite of that, where we get introduced to this character where he's following this one guy, and then the guy realizes it. Excuse me, and then he gets intertwined with him. What the hell was that? That I just heard weird noise and I didn't know what it was. But like I said, this guy gets intertwined with this guy that he doesn't even know, and then they start to do like this little thing where they start to break into people's houses. But the thing is, they don't steal anything. I mean, they'll mess stuff up. They'll like move stuff around. Like, what if? Just imagine this. Imagine that you're not home, but then when you come home, you could tell someone has broken into your house, but nothing's gone. Like there's a few things knocked over, there's a few things that's just moved around. For some reason, it gets under your skin. Like, why would somebody do that? What's the purpose of that? It does that to you, which is a very neat idea. And then this guy will put stuff in their houses, he'll rearrange stuff, and he'll like fuck up people's marriages. Like the first part in their movie when the guy's like, why would you want to fuck up their relationships? Like, because this and all that. I'm not gonna go into details why he really does it, but it's a very interesting thing where he does not break in. He breaks stuff, obviously though, but he does not steal anything. But he just rearranges stuff. He's like a person that just decides like that he just lives there and he just decides to rearrange the stuff. Imagine like my background was all different. That flag wasn't there, and all these like horror, like these all like horror weapons were just there. Imagine that. That would probably piss me off though. I'm just gonna say that. If anybody touches my stuff, I will get pissed. Positive is that I really like the relationship between the Don and one guy. I forget the characters' names, but where their relationship, I don't know why, was very similar to the narrator and Tyler from Fight Club, where this guy does a bunch of illegal shit basically and does a lot of weird things, and then this guy just kind of like helps him out and he agrees with him, like, yeah, you can do all that. I'll be part of it, but I won't do anything with it. It's very like Edward Norton as the narrator in Fight Club and Brad Pitt as Tyler. That's exactly what these two characters feel like in this movie. Yeah, sure, this movie came out 1 year before Fight Club did, but Fight Club's just a better movie. But I don't know why. That's how their relationship just felt to me. I don't maybe because reasons I guess, but this movie I really like that where I got flashbacks to Fight Club. I'm like, hey, this reminds me a lot of Fight Club. I don't know why. Like if you've seen Fight Club, like do this thing. Watch Fight Club and then watch this movie. Those two movies are very similar. I really like that, and which got me flashbacks to Fight Club, which is a good thing. It's one of my favorite movies. I haven't watched it in a while though. Now moving on to my mixed aspects, the characters. Now I don't hate these characters. I feel that they're fine. They're interesting. And what my problem is that they're not very well written, and they don't have much to do in this movie. Which at the same time, I can understand because this is a movie that was made for only $6,000. But I can understand it because of the budget that they had, and this was a film exercise. But it just bothers me because I go to a movie for characters, great characters, likable characters, and more characters that you kind of know about, kind of learn about, and all that. But this movie does not do that. It just introduces these characters, and they only give us subtle hints who they are and what they do and all that. But they're not very interesting or glued to the screen type movie, but they're fine for what they're given. It also has to do with their actors because they're not very acted well. But again, sure, it's a movie made for pennies, and I can understand it. But especially watching all of other Christopher Nolan's movies, these characters are pretty fucking weak. Along with that, moving on to my negatives is that you can tell that this was a film movie. This was a movie that was made for a film movie exercise, which I don't hate. I feel, but it's hard to not miss, especially with the audio, the black and white, the acting, and just how short this movie is. I want to remind you, this movie's an hour and 10 minutes long, but I don't know. It's hard to miss. It don't bother me too much, but it's just hard to miss. That's all there is to it. It's hard to miss, but you can understand it for reason. All in all, guys, this movie's fine. It's okay. I really enjoyed it for what it was. This movie definitely has enjoyment factor, but a lot like first time directors, the movies are short, made for with a short budget, just shows what they can do and all that. And but the more their career goes on, the better their movies get. I thought this movie was enjoyable for what it was, but it's a film movie exercise, and if you're into those type of movies and you want to see where Christopher Nolan began with his filmography, then I would just say just to go ahead and stream it. What do you guys think of Following? Have you actually watched this movie, and did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? If you haven't in fact watched this movie, please let me know in the comments what you have thought about this movie. And if you like this video, like it. If you love it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next video, take care.